Thank you so much, Suzette. And as you know, this travel season has been a busy one, with people traveling by air continuing to experience occasional turbulence. Now, flights that are canceled or rescheduled are becoming more and more common. Missing luggage also a concern. And our next guest has some tips to help travelers manage the situation to minimize potential stress and frustration. Steve Olmstead is Director of Social Responsibility and Advocacy with our partners at CAA Atlantic. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Crystal.
Yeah, we have had all those stories in the news this summer about customers having unusually challenging travel experiences due to all the delays and staff shortages and those sorts of things. What is the landscape like now?
Well, I've got to give airlines and airports a lot of credit because they've been working very hard. Their goal, as they say, is to have the smoothest and best experience possible for their travelers. And they've been doing a lot of work. Some of the things that we don't see is behind the scenes, right? So I think the feedback I'm getting lately is that things are running a little bit smoother now. Yes, delays, yes, some cancellations, baggage showing up maybe a few hours later behind arrivals, but by and large, it's not quite as chaotic as it was before. So, great for them. And interestingly, through this process, air travelers themselves have learned a few things, and they've developed some smart habits for their travel.
Let's talk a little bit about how we can prepare for what could be possible. I like to think of it, after a conversation we had in preparation for this interview, flying right now is like flying in an airplane. Most of the time it's smooth, but you might have turbulence. That is something that could happen, when you're in an airplane. So what can we do beforehand to sort of make sure we're prepared to handle any turbulence we face?
Well, as we've been talking about for months, if not the last year or so, when you do travel, you need to plan ahead, right? But now air travelers are aware that they have rights. So there is an air traveler Bill of Rights, if you will, that was passed, months ago, that kind of outlines what airlines are expected to provide air travelers and what air travelers can expect. So part of the planning process for air travelers right now is to review what are my rights anyway, so that when something does happen, I kind of have a sense of what I should expect, and it helps me contextualize things, so I ask better questions, get more timely answers.
Yes.
Makes a huge difference.
Yes, and of course there's a process where people can apply to the CTA if they are really unhappy. But let's try to avoid that. Let's just say let's take it back to when you're at home packing. I know that you had some success with these special kind of luggage tags that can track your luggage.
Absolutely, and this is not new technology. I've got one here this morning. It's just an AirTag, an Apple AirTag. It's about the size of a loonie, really, and you can fit it inside a key fob or put it in a pocket, that kind of thing. Works with an Apple device, but there's also what they call tag tiles. So that works with an Android phone and an app, and basically you can attach this to anything, a piece of luggage, your keys, anything, and then you can use, on an Apple phone, you can use the Find My app and determine how far away one of these tags might be. So when a lot of people are finding that if they attach it to their luggage, they board a plane and then they pull up the app, they can figure out, they can get a Bluetooth signal and say, hey, you know what, my luggage isn't far away, so it feels like maybe it's gotten on board with me. So kind of repeating that step when you get on a plane, and then when you disembark, each step of your travel, you can pull up your app and check your tag and see if it's close by. Now, if it's not close by, it doesn't mean you can go up and demand your luggage because it's like a few hundred meters away in storage. But it does give you a sense of where it is at any given time.
Yeah, which is helpful because even if it isn't with you, you know where it is. You can rest a little bit easier. Speaking of resting easy, what kind of role does insurance play in helping travelers navigate these turbulent times?
Well, insurance continues to be incredibly valuable, right? So, travel health insurance, certainly. CAA provides that a great product, and there are others out there as well. Certainly from the travel health perspective, but also, for trip interruption, trip cancellation, things like that. So that's part of the planning process as well. So when you're planning your trip, and you have a sense of when you want to go and where you want to go, it's time to really check out what you need coverage for. And you can go to CAA has an amazing new travel website. You can get all kinds of details and options around insurance. It comes in extremely handy. There are a couple other sources too. So one would be, a lot of us are walking around with credit cards that have some insurance services on those. So dig back into the fine print. Maybe you're covered for trip cancellation and things like that, and rental cars are provided through your credit card. So again, comes back to doing a little bit of planning ahead, just in case.
Yes, absolutely. Planning ahead is key. And I think that you recently traveled, so did I. Your tip was to make sure you pack some crackers or snacks in your bag. I'm right on that, am I?
Absolutely. So yeah. So if you know you're going to be unable to get food or water or something for a few hours because you're delayed or you're sitting on the plane, it helps to have something stashed away, something that'll just get you through. On the other end of it, if you're going to be delayed for a day or two, that's when and maybe if it's a flight cancellation, that's where an airline would jump in and say, well, actually, we can help with accommodation or provide food, etc. So yeah, kind of thinking of those scenarios. I think of myself in my worst situation. I'm starving, hungry. What could I have done? And then I just kind of pack what I think would get me through.
Wonderful. All right. Thanks so much, Steve.
Good morning.
That's Steve Olmstead, Director of Social Responsibility and Advocacy with our partners at CAA Atlantic. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after this.
Virgin Mornings with Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Mornings on Halifax's #1 hit music station, 101.3 Virgin Radio.
What does the excitement of playing Lotto 649 feel like?